in the United States, it was just financialized. So, in other words, making money off of money, right? So, the whole thing was a scam. So, then what do we get is the real estate scam starts up. So, what is the real estate scam? They realize there's still people with houses. How do we get our hands on these people's houses? Right? That's what they're thinking. These billionaires, got to remember, they're always thinking about how are they going to take your shit. They want your shit. And it's funny because every time somebody talks about, trying to take some of this stuff back, they're always like, oh, you can't touch the billionaire stuff. You didn't earn that. They literally, for 40, 50, or all of our lives, really, to be honest with you, they've been stealing everything. They've been stealing the whole population of the world blind, right? And we're supposed to worry about, oh, we're going to redistribute it back to us. That's the thing that cracks me up all the time is they always talk about how they're going to. So anyway, this real estate scam, and I got involved. I didn't get involved in the real estate scamming, but I got involved with some people who were doing real estate scamming, and it was the biggest scam. I asked this guy, he was making $150,000 per month, per fucking month, 150,000, right? How did he do it? He was going to people and refinancing. So he had a list of people that he could go to. He would do three a week at least, right? Three per week. Um, each time he'd make 10,000 bucks. Okay, he'd do three per week, and then well, let me see, three at least three per week. Some were 5 weeks, and some were yeah, 3 to 5. So it would add up to about 150,000 because he'd make 10,000 each. So he had the scam, and then he had a 3 year worth of people that he could go to. So for 3 years, and he actually did this for probably, I think he got away with it for 6 years. So he cycled through all the people 2 times, right? And what he would do is he'd go there and he'd say, oh, you know what? And here's the interesting part. This is funny. One of the things they tried to do was say, oh, you own your home, right? He'd go to these poor people who basically had a grandfather or somebody that was smart and took care of them and bought a house and paid for it over 30 years of his life, working his ass off. But now they got a house that they can live in. Their grandfather probably died or whatever, the grandmother, the family. And now these people have this house, right? And they have it, it's basically paid for. Well, these people come to him. They're like, all right, you know what? You're doing pretty good. Why don't you sell this house and move into a new house, a bigger house, whatever, right? Go ahead. You're moving up in the world. Everything's doing good. We got the economy booming. All right, buy a bigger house. Don't worry about the fine print over here. Oh yeah, you're only paying interest only. I mean, they had interest only loans. They even had loans that were not even interest, but less than interest. So the principal didn't stay the same. It kept getting bigger. See, interest only is you're paying the interest and you never do any principal. So the amount you owe is always going to be the actual amount of the house loan, right? So you never minimize it. It never gets smaller. But they had some that were negative, negative interest. So in other words, you pay less than interest only, and then at the end of the year, let's say you owed 300,000 on a house. Well, now you owe 310,000 or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So you get the price just keeps getting up that you owe. So anyway, they did all these scams, and actually, that's not even the scam I'm talking about with this guy that got 150,000. His scam was that he would go to people and they would stay in their house. Okay, they wouldn't move into a new, bigger house, right? But he'd say, "Hey, guess what? The value of your house just went up last year or over the last 3 years, let's say. So over the 3 years, your price just went from, just to keep it simple, 200. Now it's 400. Guess what I'm going to do? Let's refinance this baby." He doesn't explain to him that now you're going to owe 400 to the bank instead of 200. He scams him. He says, "Hey, guess what? You take the money that you got left over in your principal, which you could be almost paid off or whatever. You steal 10,000 out of that. You get a lower monthly payment, right? That was the scam. Oh, it's a low monthly payment. Wow, even though I owe $400,000 now, even though I put no money down, I'm not transferring principal over. I'm just pulling that money out. So I'm sticking money in my pocket that I could just blow, right? Now I owe 400,000 instead of 200,000. So he does it. That was his thing. That was his scam. He steal 10,000 out of it, right? He'd give you a lower monthly rate because sometimes he'd make it from a 10-year or 20-year to a 30-year or a 40-year or whatever, or he'd mess around with the interest rate or whatever he could do with the bank. He'd scam it to where he got 10,000, they got some money in their pocket, and they had a new loan. But what he never told them is every one of these new loans that he got was it was an adjustable rate loan, and it had a 5-year balloon payment. So in other words, if you ever had it for 5 years, all of a sudden you're going to owe like $20,000 or some outrageous amount on the fifth year or whatever year it was, where this balloon payment kicks in. Plus, it's adjustable rate. So at any point during the thing, you could be thinking, oh, it's only a 4% rate or 5% rate. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, why is it 12%? Why did it just go up to 12%? Oh, because it's adjustable rate. So that's the scam. So that was the other scam. So not only did they get you to put all your money into real estate and take the rest of your money, steal the rest of your houses that you had that were paid off by your earlier generations that were smart enough to buy a house and have it paid off. Now they stole your money and they foreclosed on your ass. So even if you put money into the bank or into your house and you have it almost paid off. So in other words, let's say you weren't doing interest only, but you were actually paying the normal amount that you should be paying to try to pay it off, and you were building up equity. Guess what? You get foreclosed on, boom, you lost your equity. So you got a balloon payment, you got an interest rate that changed on you, and then they just steal your house on foreclosure, steal all your equity, you get nothing, you're on the street. So that's what they did. Also in the same time frame, they bailed out all the bankers that just got done losing all their money on the .com scam, right? So these bankers are ripping us off right and left. They're stealing money every which way they can. They're giving us credit cards that's scamming us. They're scamming us on these college loans. They're scamming us on mutual funds that they crashed the economy. And now, guess what? They're saying, hey, let's put all the money let's have the Federal Reserve give all these guys money for nothing, for free. Ha! And then these guys are so incompetent, these people at the banks, they're getting money for free. All they have to do is loan it out back to the people and get, 5-10% interest on all that money that they got for free. But no, no, no. Do they do that? No, they don't. They take that money and they put it back into the stock market. And now we're in another stock market bubble. So here we go. We got Al Gore running around talking about global warming, and this is another. I mean, the global warming piece, I'm not going to argue with anybody about. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's fake. I know that there's ways to solve it, but what I do know for a fact is what Al Gore and everybody related to Al Gore and anybody that's talking about like a carbon tax and things like that, that is another big scam. Carbon tax is nothing but a scam. It's to steal more money from every single person. And the bad part about a carbon tax is that not only is it a scam to steal money from each person, but it's more of uh, it's also like rules and regulations for the world. So in other words, it's like a world government. It's like an overriding thing. They tried to do the same thing with NAFTA, CAFTA, and actually I didn't go into these trade deals too much on this video here because I guess you could see that the thing about NAFTA and CAFTA, I did mention the idea of it took all of our factories and all of our manufacturing, brought it overseas, and then also lost all of our jobs and gave it to cheaper labor overseas. But the other aspect of NAFTA, CAFTA, and these trade deals, especially TPP, that everybody should be glad never happened, was that they were also giving away a lot of sovereignty of the government, of our own federal government, of our own nation, and giving it to a different thing. Actually, I mean, if we could talk about UN, we could talk about um, the World Bank and all these other things that are more. I mean, I'm going to focus on the United States here, how they stole all of our middle class money. But if you want to talk about the world, you got the World Bank and you got the UN, you got all these other entities that are out just ripping everybody around the world off. So that's a separate story. But that gets into the idea of the global warming. Um, the solutions that they propose have nothing to do with global warming because if you want to stop global warming and you think it's from fossil fuel, you should ban the use of fossil fuel, period. And we have a lot of different technologies. We don't need only solar or only wind or only this or only that. We have geothermal, we have tidal thing, we have thorium nuclear also. So I won't get into this whole thing about energy because I'll do some positive videos on another one. But we have a lot of ways that we can stop. If global warming is really happening, we can stop it. So anyway, that panic of global warming was all designed to also create another way of stealing everybody's money and getting everybody taxed. Global tax. So about this time, we get Obama taking office. Now Obama, the same thing happened with Obama that happened with Reagan, then Clinton, then Bush, then Obama. All the wars, the war on terror, the surveillance, the torture. They said they stopped torture. I don't think they stopped torture. Everything that went on under Bush went on under Obama. Also, the tax cuts for the rich that everybody was complaining about under Bush became permanent under Obama. But Obama came along with a new scam. Here's the new scam: Obamacare. So, we've got the credit card scam, trying to put everybody into debt. We got the college scam, putting everybody in debt. All the new people going to college going to debt. Now we have healthcare scam, puts everybody into debt. Now everybody's going bankrupt. I mean, the prices literally went through the roof. I mean, I don't care how much anybody loves Obama or whatever, and I gave him a fair shake, but this guy, this healthcare thing is a complete scam. It's a complete transfer of wealth from our pockets to the health industry, the pharmaceutical companies, and the insurance companies. All right, there's nothing about Obamacare that is any good. And as a matter of fact, now it even made it to where you don't even get health care under your employers anymore. My employer now, and for the past ever since Obamacare came along, will not even offer health care. They're like, why don't you go get your own health care? Oh man, every time they talk about choice, you know what it is? It's a choice to go fuck off, is what they're giving you the choice. They're like, oh, your choice is die. I forgot his name. Alan Grayson, I think it was. He was saying the Republican plan is don't get sick. If you get sick, die fast because you're going to go into debt. He called that the Republican plan, but that is the Republican plan, but it's also the Obamacare. Obamacare is die fast because you're going to go into bankruptcy if you don't die fast. If you have a relative that doesn't die fast. Also, I don't know who did it, Bush, Obama, or somebody along the line. They also changed some laws, and this is your boy Biden who really loved this, where they said, "Oh, okay, you know what? Now we got this college scam. Guess what? You can't go bankrupt if you're a college student. You can't say, okay, these loans are devastating me. I can't move forward. I can't get a job. Nobody pays enough for me to pay off the thing. We got all these scams. Guess what? Now you can't go into bankruptcy. So you are like a permanent slave. You'll never get out from under this scam. So now you got credit card scam, stock market scam, college loan scam, uh, real estate scam, and healthcare scam. So everything is a scam to steal all of the middle class's money and give it to the rich. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. And here's the thing, um, we got austerity, we got 0% interest rates. I went to the bank. I was going to do a CD. They said, what? We'll give you a 0.25%. I mean, I can remember just maybe, I don't know, maybe it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I could get 5% in my normal bank for interest rate. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess if I put $500,000, I can get 2, 3%. But, you know, I don't really have $500,000 thrown into a CD. So anyway, the whole thing is fake. Now, okay, so all this stuff is going on. Trump comes along. Now, I don't think Trump has really done anything with the economy either. I mean, the growth is kind of fake. All these numbers that we're seeing, they're fake numbers. Now, I mean, you got to give Trump credit. I don't care how much you hate Trump. You got to give him credit for getting rid of TPP. The TPP, the trade deals, I don't know if he's making better trade deals, but I know those trade deals that we had, NAFTA, CAFTA, TPP, all that stuff was total garbage and shit. So throwing those down the toilet, um, I mean, you got to give the guy credit. There's no other way to put it. You got to give him credit. But the stock market going up, as I said, the stock market is a scam. It's a fake game. It's just bullshit. So the stock market going up doesn't really help anybody, really. I mean, if you got money in the stock market, good for you, I guess I could say. If it's going up, good for you. You're making a little money out of it. Great. But the stock market is fake. And the only people that are really making the big money on the stock market are the billionaires. Matter of fact, most billionaires, billions are literally stocks. So in other words, if the stock went down, um, they wouldn't be a billionaire anymore. I mean, if their company crashed and the stock market didn't do well, you know, so it's fake. They're fake billionaires. I mean, even though they could start cashing in stuff and they could be a billionaire or whatever, and they spend their money. It's kind of fake. The whole economy is kind of fake. Um, and then Trump, he did tax cuts for the rich. I mean, he said it was tax cuts for the middle class, but it was tax cuts for everybody. Now the rich don't need tax cuts. I mean, it's just bottom line. We got to get back. Well, I don't know. I'll do the positive stuff. I'll just touch on it at the end here. But uh, taxing and regulation cuts. I mean, totally off the wall. So it's kind of a fake